After over 3 months submerged in the depths of the ocean, SpaceX has finally released a long-awaited update on the status of Booster B11. This resilient piece of hardware has certainly earned the title of a warrior, but what exactly happened to B11 during its time beneath the waves? First, let's talk about the incredible feat achieved by B11. This booster was part of the historic Flight 4, where for the first time ever, both Starship stages successfully landed. That marked a huge leap forward for SpaceX's mission of reusable spacecraft, but it wasn't without its challenges. B11 in particular faced significant damage, which Elon Musk recently revealed in a series of images. The booster, battered and broken, sustained major damage. The images Musk shared show only the aft section of B11, along with a few smaller pieces from the upper stages. The internal structure is almost entirely gone, leaving only the outer shell and the engine ring system. Out of the original engines, just 14 from the outer ring remain, and most of them have been deformed beyond recognition. The wiring and fuel systems inside are exposed and clearly damaged. It's fascinating to see how much of the booster didn't survive its time in the ocean, especially when we compare these images with earlier landing shots. Those photos showed significant scorching on one side of the booster, suggesting that some engines might have been damaged even before hitting the water. Months underwater likely caused the additional breakage and loss of parts. Interestingly, parts of B11 were recovered earlier, as reports indicated divers had retrieved them back in September. The ship tasked with collecting the remnants, MV HOS Arwind, was spotted recovering various parts, leading to speculation that the upper section had already been brought back. It's also worth noting that the forward flap of S-29, another key piece of hardware, was burned during flight. Fans and engineers alike are eager to see if it's been salvaged and what condition it's in. Elon Musk commented on B11's recovery with a simple fixer-upper, hinting at SpaceX's intent to continue salvaging and analyzing these components. It's a crucial step in understanding what went wrong, particularly with the engines. Even though the months spent underwater may distort some findings, the data collected will still be invaluable. This brings us to an important point. While Flight 4 was a historic success, SpaceX still needs to learn from its failures, and B11 is central to that process. Engineers will likely study the deformed engines and damaged components to understand what design improvements are necessary moving forward. And while it's too soon to say for sure, this data could significantly influence the development of hardware for Flight 5. Now, while we wait for Flight 5, currently scheduled for late November, SpaceX has a chance to refine their hardware and increase the mission's chances of success. This mission will be especially challenging because Super Heavy will attempt to land on the Mechazilla arm at Starbase, a feat that's unprecedented in spaceflight. But let's shift gears for a moment to another challenge SpaceX is facing, a legal battle that could impact their future operations in South Texas. A lawsuit has been filed by the makers of Cards Against Humanity, accusing SpaceX of trespassing and damaging land they purchased in 2017. The land, located in Cameron County, was bought as part of a campaign to oppose Donald Trump's border wall. Now, the company is seeking $15 million in compensation, claiming that SpaceX harmed both the land and their relationship with supporters. This lawsuit may seem trivial compared to the technical feats SpaceX is accomplishing, but it's emblematic of the broader regulatory and legal hurdles the company is facing. It raises the question, is there something, or someone, actively trying to slow SpaceX down? Whether it's through lawsuits, investigations, or regulatory delays, the roadblocks seem to be piling up. Meanwhile, on the global stage, China's space ambitions are facing challenges of their own. A recent attempt by the Chinese company Deep Blue Aerospace to replicate SpaceX's reusable rocket technology ended in failure. Their first reusable rocket, Nebula 1, failed during a high-altitude vertical recovery test. The test lasted 179 seconds before the rocket crash-landed, damaging its aft section and landing legs. This isn't the first time Deep Blue Aerospace has experienced issues with recovery. 2 years ago, Nebula 1M also suffered a hard landing, though details were kept under wraps at the time. At least this time, they've been more transparent, releasing images and videos of the failed test. The failure highlights just how difficult it is to master the technology that SpaceX has been perfecting for years. While copying the outer shell of SpaceX's technology might seem like a shortcut, it's the countless challenges SpaceX has overcome that truly make them the dominant force in the reusable rocket industry. The recent failure of Nebula 1 reminds us why SpaceX remains a step ahead of the competition. They didn't reach this level of success overnight. It took years of trial and error, innovation, and relentless ambition. And that's something China, or any other competitor, will struggle to match. But let's not forget that, while Deep Blue Aerospace may have failed this time, they'll likely keep pushing forward. China is rapidly growing its space capabilities, and they won't stay behind forever. That's why it's critical that SpaceX continues to innovate and that the regulatory hurdles they're facing don't hold them back. The U.S. can't afford to let internal conflicts slow SpaceX down, especially as China continues to close the gap. With that in mind, SpaceX's journey is far from over. B11's recovery is just one milestone in a much larger story, one that will continue to shape the future of space exploration. Don't forget to hit that like button, smash subscribe for more jaw-dropping space updates, and join us as we embark on a cosmic journey like never before.